Everybody. Thank you for joining us. So I've been joined by Michelle Whitney, Earth Grid Rescue Mission, and we're continuing her story. I can't remember where we left off, but carry on, keep going,
Oh, yeah.
keep moving
I
forward.
apologize. We're having flash flood rains here in the South, and the router went, but I remember where we were. I was talking about how this is the first time I've had a community of like-minded people that enjoy researching and discussing, different aspects of topics that are not most commonly known about. And so that's been a real privilege for me to have not only the ability to discuss and learn from others, but I feel like something magical happens every time I'm in the chat over at Typical Skeptic. I've connected psychically and energetically with people from the moment I ever first entered. It was so uh, uh so strong that I couldn't ignore it. And Selena actually, thankfully, she said something, and I was like, yes, I could feel this woman that her name was Bridget Woods. I haven't seen her in a long time, but she and I were like linking up. I could feel her energy. It was so warm. It felt like a warm bath, like a hug. And it was very like inviting and welcoming, and it was hitting my heart chakra. So I was getting very emotional. So that happened, and before that, though, in February of 2025, what had happened to me was the week that the seven planets aligned. I've noticed since then, anytime we have some kind of alignment or something unique with the moon, uh, I become incredibly telepathic with tapping into like the information superhighway. I have all this knowledge that will just come flooding in. And Psychic Duck put it so poetically. Psychic Duck, I think it's a she. She sounds like a she. Said, it's like you've read 1,000 books, but you haven't read 1,000 books. You recognize those books, and those books recognized you. And it was like, I've
Wow,
always
that's
felt
amazing.
I
Yeah.
felt the love like for literature, and reading was like my first best friend because I was a very awkward kid. I was a kid that couldn't, sit still and sits awkward and good intentions, but always say the wrong thing at the most awkward moments. That's
Yeah,
me.
I'm like that as well. I have no filter. People used to introduce me as, this is Julia, she has no filter. And that's how I used to get introduced to people. But now I think of it as dragon energy, that fiery dragon breath coming through.
I think I got big dragon energy too. Like
Yeah.
I love I love this idea of being able to fly like Peter Pan. It consumed me so
Yeah.
much as a child until I was like, well, till around the time I lost my mother at 9. I daydreamed about flying. I dreamed about flying. All I wanted more than anything. And I'll tell you a funny story. Um, my parents, I went to a private school until I was in 3rd grade, but my parents owned a nursery, a wholesale nursery, and they used to do contracts for the Navy, like Coronado Naval Base and Port Magoo in Southern California. They landscaped those, and um, my dad didn't even graduate high school. My mom didn't go to college, and my parents spoke multiple languages, and they were self-made. And I've always loved that story because they had the whole world growing against them, and they were able to do it.
Yeah,
And um,
absolutely.
I was incredibly spoiled as a child, but that did end abruptly when my mom passed, and I experienced the other side of that. And I think that's why I don't have any motivation for money.
Mm.
I would rather do something to help someone, and that is a driving force for me that is far beyond a truck full of cash. Now,
Yeah.
of course, everybody needs to pay their bills, and
Exactly. Yeah.
but
That's a
I just
message in the
can't
spiritual
get it.
community that I do try and get across to people, because we're spiritual entrepreneurs. We still need to eat. We still need to pay the bills. We can't be love and light up in the galaxy all the time. We're here in the 3D, and we've got 3D things to do. And the
Yeah.
guides want you to have a full life. Yeah, they don't want you to live like a pauper. There's plenty of mind control basically that says, you can't have everything. And that's part of our programming from the past, because many people, when you go to the Akashic records, many people were given up to the church in past lives, and as part of that you have to release, denounce everything. And there's vows
Yeah,
of poverty, vows of lack and scarcity that we've all got in our programming. So a big part of the work I do is releasing those vows from people's timelines using the Akashic records, right, using the pendulum alchemy. So we've got to pay the bills the same as the next person. Yeah. So a lot of people forget we're actually spiritual entrepreneurs, which means we work in service to others, but we still need to support ourselves.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs, that pyramid?
Yeah.
Have to have the basics in order to give. I completely agree. It's
Exactly. Yeah.
ironic. I've been told that one of my missions in this life is to be able to accept the material.
Mm,
And Matthew Mornier, remember your mission? He did the
mm,
quantum or interdimensional tarot. He pulled the Queen of Wands, right, which is like the desire. And he said that I should enjoy the fruits of the earth, right? Like,
right.
and I agree with that. Like,
Mm,
I agree.
mm.
I think stability is important, and you have to take care of yourself, or you don't have anything to give.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask before you can help others. And that's really important lesson for a lot of spiritual people to learn is we can't live like monks on nothing, because that's just not possible. If you want to help people, you've got to make sure that you're taken care of, your family's taken care of, and then we can still be, priestesses in our community and things like that. So I don't know if that's coming across the right way, but it's important, that we're
I
not
love
living in a
I
monastery.
monks.
We're not living in a
I have
monastery
this
anymore.
fascination with
Yeah.
them. I think, like, I love this documentary I watched. It's called Myanmar, Lifting the Veil. It's about Burma,
Mm,
and they go through the whole country. You can watch it on Tubi for free.
wow.
But one of the profiles or lenses they look at is the monks there. And
Mm,
there's this amazing trek that they take. It's like kind of like their Mecca, where they make this like pilgrimage, and the hike is like ungodly, this hill, but you get to the top and there's this rock that has been covered with gold that's like balanced, defying gravity. And at the top of it, it's got like a pagoda. And they say there's a lock of Buddha's hair in there, but it is one, like, every time I watch it, I cry because it's like it's nighttime and you see all these people just around, like, in
wow.
love, and they have, like,
Mm,
all the candles and like, that
yeah.
periwinkle sunset color, and to me, like, just the simplicity of being in balance
Yeah.
and having what you need and not being overly consumed by the
Yeah.
material,
But this
and
is
being in
this is the
harmony. That's
community lifestyle out there. When I went to Chiang Mai and you go up and do those hilltop village tours, and they had all the huts on stilts and everything, but they had solar panels for every hut. A solar panel. Now in the UK, we can't afford solar panels. I don't know what it's like in America. Can you guys afford solar panels on your house? Because that's not
we
something we can
actually
afford.
I'm actually going to dinner on Monday for a presentation about solar panels. Talk about signs. They have a lot of vouchers and government,
Yeah.
rebates where they're trying to transition people to that.
But this
I
is
live in
like
the
this
middle
is
of
20 years
nowhere.
ago. 20 years ago, up a mountain in Thailand, there were huts with solar panels. And that's that community coming together to support each other, to work as a community and make sure they've got electric. And they had TVs and everything. Even when I lived in India, somebody who's living in a shack on the side of the road would still have electric hookup. They still have TV, they still have their basic needs met, even if their house wasn't amazing. But we're in these, affluent areas, and it's just stress and drama, right? So getting that
Yeah,
balance is not so easy in this kind of environment that we're in. But when you devote yourself to having nothing and being everything, then it's a different story.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sorry.
No, no, I love talking to you. It's nice to feel like I have difficulty verbalizing things because I'm such a I'm a Pisces. I'm so emotional, right? Such a dreamer.
Yeah. Well, I'm a
I feel
Scorpio, so I'm a very aggressive Scorpio. You probably get
Aaron's a
you
Scor
probably guessed
I
that.
love
I'm like,
Scorpios. They're my best friend, my first best
yeah.
friend for many, many decades was a Scorpio.
I
I always
I
said I
don't
wanted to
really
be with
do I don't do astrology because it just doesn't sit right with me. But I'm a Scorpio Taurus moon, I think. So that fascinates people. Yeah. I
yeah, I
guess
don't
I'm
know
quite
much
Taurus.
about the houses. I do know
Yeah.
that, like, I mean, I agree with you. I try to be careful with,
Mm.
like, using the horoscope words,
Yeah.
but the personality of what I've read about myself, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
It's for me. Um,
Mm.
but, so we were talking about flying, and the funny story I
Mm.
was gonna tell you was my parents grew pumpkins for the entire school every year at Halloween. They'd have a carnival, and my parents would bring all the balloons, and everybody got a pumpkin. And there was a woman that was there doing face painting that was hired for the kids.
Mm.
And she was a witch for Halloween and she had a big broom. And I held up the face painting line for 2 hours
Yeah.
trying to negotiate with this witch to see if I could get some flying lessons.
Oh wow.
And I even got almost left behind on a school field trip because we went to the Old Globe Theater. It's the round
Yeah.
theater. It's beautiful in Balboa Park, San
Mm.
Diego. Just breathtaking. I should send you pictures. And
Yeah.
Puff the Magic Dragon comes flying across on these cables, and he's got, like, little Jackie Paper on his back, and I'm 5, and I snuck off behind, the stage, and they couldn't find me for an hour because I was waiting for Puff to come off stage so that I could get some flying lessons, and, I mean, it was
Mm.
beyond, I think, an imagination of a child. I think I
Yeah.
remembered something.
I think you
I
did
think that
too
was
because
something I gave myself or I brought
yeah,
in with me that was a
exactly.
connection.
Because I had similar experience. I used to be obsessed with teleporting, and I used to get frustrated that I couldn't do it because there was another aspect of me that was literally doing it. And I was quite lucky because when my parents divorced when I was around 8, I declared that I was a witch, and I was into the Worst Witch series and Little Vampire. My dad took me to get me a broom and my first black cat. So my family embraced it.
Love
So I was
you.
lucky in
You're
that way.
amazing.
Yeah, I have a broom in the corner of the room. I have my besom right there. Don't know if I
You
can
know
get
what
it
I
to
always
actually.
say?
Mm.
I always, when I'm sweeping, I'm like, I'll be like, I inherited my car when a house fell on my sister. And I think it is the funniest joke.
Yeah,
And no one ever laughs. They're like, I don't get it.
I get it.
And I'm
I
like,
get it.
Yes, you
Yeah,
were like, but I'm
I'm gonna
always
get my
laughing at
besom.
my
I'm gonna show
jokes.
you. Hold on, I'll show you my broom.
Oh, let me see it. Can I get
Okay.
some flying lessons?
Well, you already do your flying in the astral.
I've been told I fly a lot. I have a lot of dreams about flying, and I'll wake up with that feeling like I've been going downhill on a roller coaster in my stomach. It'll
Okay.
stick with me all day.
So I'm not sure what you can see. Oh, it's not picking it up because there's a thing on
Oh, it's beautiful. I saw
there.
for a second. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Come, hold still. Okay, right there. Hold still.
you can't see it.
I love the little
Oh, that's
crescent
annoying.
moon.
That's annoying
Oh,
that you
it's
can't see it.
beautiful.
So this is a full witch's besom, and it's been handmade by the Wiccan lady in Leeds, who's a high priestess or a grand high priestess. So this is an active working witch's broom.
Have you seen the lavender wands that they braid out of the lavender plant?
Um, Not ones by itself, no,
I'll send
no,
you a
but I do
picture.
work.
They're gorgeous. You would love it. That's a
Yeah,
beautiful
we
broom.
do herbal spell work. I do, and I haven't done one for a while actually, but I used to do workshops which were all about incense blending.
Okay.
Well, incense blending, and then they'd end up being spells. They'd end up being spell working. But to get everybody in, it started off being incense blending, but just every herb would just happen to have the magical properties listed for every herb in the collection. So then people would start making spells. So I do have a
My dad
cauldron,
would
but
be
it's
good
not
at
in here.
that. My dad
Yeah.
knows every flower, every plant, how to grow it the best. Like, he's got the green I mean, he did that, they grew flowers for 20 years, my parents.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
really like to garden, but boy, I could kill a cactus if I don't pay
Oh, me
attention.
too. Me too. I'm not good at keeping things alive. I'm really not. I'm very elemental as well, and I still can't take care of a plant. Really can't. Um,
I
yeah,
understand. I do. My hydrangeas, I love your backdrop because hydrangeas are one of my favorite, especially the lavender, the periwinkle. The acidity of the soil is what changes the color of the petal. And my
yeah.
hydrangeas came back. They were out, they went dormant for the winter. I didn't think they
Mm,
were gonna come back. And I guess it worked out. I found the right spot when I planted it, and
yeah,
it's out there growing now, and so as long as I'm not involved, it
yeah.
seems to
No,
be thriving as far as the plants
I
go.
did try and have, I don't know what you call it in America, but we call it an allotment, which is like a community piece of land. You have the same kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you take ownership of the allotment for like a year, and you get to plant all your vegetables and whatever. I couldn't make it work. There's a lot of digging involved, and one of my sisters had to like try and double dig it for me, and but I lost interest very quickly. So
That would be
I
my
think
luck.
we grew potatoes, and we grew some basil, and
Oh, I love basil.
maybe
I have
some
a basil plant
strawberries.
too.
I don't know, strawberries and onions, I think, but not enough to actually live on or sell. So, but it was an
I
interesting
grew all those
experience.
myself too at last year,
Yeah.
actually. Rock Castaldo, the Space Water podcast, he
Mm.
has a video, it's very short, of strawberries where he grounded copper wire in them. And not only did they
Oh,
come back, I mean, they are just
wow.
thriving. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
he's
cool.
onto something there. Maybe that's what it
Yeah.
is. Not water, it's copper. That's what you need.
Yeah. So you were talking about flying, and I was talking about teleporting. What happened after that?
I remember as a kid that I would sit at the table like that movie Matilda where she's just staring at the cup of water and
Mm.
she's like tip over tip.
Yeah.
And this would go on for hours. And my
Yeah.
parents, as I was, 3, 4, 5 years old, they really entertained my imagination. I mean, I got a Dalmatian because I wished on a star one morning. They pulled me out of bed on the North Star and had me, excuse me, they had me making a wish. And now, of course, they knew the dog was coming, but like even going to school for show and tell in second grade, I brought a seashell jewelry box my mom gave me. She said a mermaid came out of the water and gave it to her.
Oh,
So I
that's
go
so
to school,
nice.
I tell the whole
Yeah.
class, not only do I get reprimanded and in trouble by the teacher, I
Yeah.
get laughed at. And I'm so
Yeah.
confused because I was like, a mermaid did give me this. This came from a mermaid made in China.
Yeah. My parents were a lot more practical because they were older, so they didn't really entertain much. Um, the only thing was when I started, like when you come off the bed at night time, and I made a comment in my teens when I was staying at my dad's house, saying that bed. That's the bed that I float off. And then he said to me, no, it's not the bed floating, it's you. You're floating. And that's called astral travel. And I do that as well. And then I was like, what? And that was it.
That's
End of
so
discussion. It was like, yeah. So I get to that point where I'd be rising out of my body and then jumping back down. And I thought it was the bed. I thought there was something wrong with the bed. So
It's interesting you say that. My parents actually are much older than like, my peers at school. My parents waited
yeah,
10 years after they got married to have me, so
yeah,
I'm 40, but my dad is almost 80 years old.
yeah,
He's 36 years older than me.
yeah.
So,
Well, my
my
dad
parents were
was
always
46. My dad was 46 when I was born. So
yeah.
both my parents are passed now. But yeah, my dad had grey hair from his 20s. So if he came to the school, people would say, "Is that your granddad?" And you know,
I
right?
like gray hair.
Oh
Like,
no.
the men in my family, they go bald at, like, 18. I don't know, I've always kinda
Mm,
liked bald guys. But, feel bad for my brother. He just, even
yeah.
me, I have really thin hair, like, my
Uh,
mom had that I think they call it black Irish. My mom had
okay.
very dark hair as an adult, but,
Yeah.
as we're all towheads. I'm actually surprised my hair is as dark as it
A
is now.
towhead. What's a towhead?
Oh, I'm like a platinum blonde, like that white blonde color hair.
Okay.
I looked like I had straw for hair as a kid. It was
Yeah.
so
Is
it
it
looked
like
like
that now? Does your hair grow blonde like that now?
yeah, you
Why
can
don't you
kinda
keep
see it.
it? Oh,
I
because this
don't
is
dye
my
my hair
natural
at
color
all.
now. I'm getting a
Yeah,
lot of grey come through now, so I'm hoping it'll just phase out into nice, silver bob soon.
I
That's
love
what I'm hoping.
silver hair. I don't have any gray hair, and maybe it's because I don't care if I go gray.
Yeah,
Like, I love
yeah.
silver hair, but I don't dye my hair at all. It's been
Okay,
about a
that's
year or
cool.
2. But I'm not out in the sun and I'm not swimming this summer,
Yeah.
so my hair's not turning blonde.
Mm,
And I'm really pale right now. This light looks
yeah.
pretty good, but
This is
I mean,
pale.
I can glow in the dark. This is about my
Okay.
skin
I
tone.
don't think you look pale at all. I've got like an orange light on to give me a bit of colour because I get very pink or very pale. So,
You have a
yeah.
perfect peach complexion. It's
Oh no,
really
it's
like,
the
especially with
light.
the purple contrast, you look
I'll
beautiful.
show you. Thank you. I'll show you. It's the light. See?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know you could do that. I don't know
Yeah.
if I have a filter on.
So I just have an overhead light here, which is on my phone stand. So
I do
yeah,
have some rope lights right here. Maybe I can,
yeah.
like, I do have some
So I'm
rope
trying to
light.
set up like for podcasting, trying to set up the 3 points of lighting, but I've only got two.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
have
one this
some
side.
natural light.
So
Okay, so let me
mm.
get my thoughts together. Okay, so
Focus,
I
focus. Let's
remember in
focus.
February. That's what it was. February. It was February of 2025. No.
Okay.
Um, I was up late. I'm a night owl, and my boyfriend Aaron was awake. We were in the bedroom, and like I said, it was the week the planets aligned, and I think it was actually towards the end of the week. I think it was like 5 days of alignment, but it was about the 3rd or 4th day, and I will never forget, I was standing on the side of his side of the bed by the window, and the first thing that happened was this voice came through my body. Now he couldn't hear it. So I just need to sip, my throat's a little hoarse. Sorry about that. You're so patient. I can tell you're a good mom. You have good patience, Anchorhaven.
Only because my son's
So
15 and he doesn't
no,
need anything.
really?
Yeah.
I love teenagers. I
He's
wanted
a
to be a foster parent, and I always said I would take teenagers because no one
yeah.
takes
Well,
teenagers.
no, teenagers are very moody. So he's a 15-year-old gamer. So he's very sovereign. So he does his own thing. He's still at school. He'll be back soon. He goes to school in another town, but he takes the train, everything by himself. So no,
Oh,
I'm
how
not patient. We just
cool.
live separate lives already.
You know what? I think it's important for kids these days to have their independence. My brother, he's 38. He's 2 years younger than me, but he says he's terminally online. And my brother, he's like Rain Man, but more verbal. He As kids, he had every video game system and console you could imagine, and he got those subscriptions to the video game magazines, hundreds and hundreds of them. Like, you could stack them to the ceiling. He could read a video game cheat code one time and never forget it. And he built computers and taught himself the stock market and made really good money on the stock market until GameStop happened. But while he's able to thrive in the sense of practical application and self-learning, his social skills, while he can have a conversation with me or my dad or Aaron, has never had a girlfriend or a relationship. He has a few friends online, but one of them is an antagonist, and whenever they bump heads, that kid takes his ball and goes home. He takes the friends group and he leaves, and
Have you
that's
got an
really hard on him.
inhaler?
He needs he
Because
needs
I can hear you wheezing. I
oh,
can.
I might it's the smoking. Yeah, I know,
Okay.
my voice, my throat doesn't hurt. I lost my voice though, and
Do you not have a
um
puffer?
I don't.
No.
No, I
Okay.
probably could use what's it called, an albuterol treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my brother has really struggled because of trauma. He actually um attempted suicide. He shot himself in the chest with a rifle, and he lived through it. When I was Uh-oh, are you there still?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm here.
my
I'm
that
here.
was weird. My computer glitched.
No,
Man,
I'm
that was
here.
like creepy. So my brother survived this suicide attempt. He was life flighted, and in the hospital for a few months, and then he came home and things did not improve. In fact, he isolated more, and that was in 2007. So here we are, almost 20 years later, and he, I think, honestly has some kind of entity that's been with him for so long that it's taken hold of him because the pain is so deep that he's just angry all the time. Nothing. I feel bad for my dad because he lives with my dad, and my dad's starting to go through dementia and Alzheimer's, and he attacks my dad verbally really bad. I when I moved here about a year and a half ago, he was a heavy alcoholic, and we were able to help him quit drinking. I don't drink very often. I've had my own issues with alcohol and other. I'm very addictive personality. Um, yeah, so I have to be very careful, even just dabbling in things, because if I like it a lot, I'm gonna wanna do it, excessively. So I try to really be honest with myself and be aware of that so that I don't end up in a situation where it gets beyond my control. It's been a hard lesson to learn, the
Yeah,
discipline, the
I hear
self-discipline, the
that.
overindulging.
Yeah, self-discipline is obviously not my strong point either because I'm still married to my Pepsi.
Oh,
And
no judgment. This is
yeah,
my husband, the Gatorade, blue Gatorade, 1 a day. That's
yeah.
other than that, I just drink
But what
water
I've
with
discovered
drops.
now, which is going to sound really weird, because I've been working a lot with contracts at the moment, I seem to have a contract with
That's a contract
PepsiCo.
right there. No,
Yeah, I
that
have a
that
contract with
symbol is a
PepsiCo.
contract.
Yeah. And I was talking to David Purcell about it a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to have another chat soon to see if I can really delete that contract with PepsiCo. Yeah,
I understand. I got one myself with, the Marlboro. This
yeah,
is like my one I mean, I love this like it was my best lost friend that I found. It's
yeah.
my smoky treats, like, that's the one thing, like,
It's always
I've
been
been
there for me. Even when I travelled, it was there for me. Although I did live somewhere where they didn't have Pepsi Max for a while, and then I went on to full fat Pepsi because that
that
was
should have been
there. But
illegal.
I can't do Coca Cola. Coca Cola is something wrong with it. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's worse than the PepsiCo contract.
Once in a while, like, once a year, I'll buy a Pepsi and I'll
Yeah.
put peanuts in it.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I dated a guy that would and he introduced me to
Like
it,
just like plain peanuts or dry roasted or
like Planters
salted?
peanuts. Yeah, no shell, you take the shell off, like,
Yeah. Are they
Planters
just
peanuts.
plain? Okay, no topping.
Well,
Okay,
they're
and
they're
then what
salted, they're
happens?
salted.
Salty. So what
Oh,
happens to
but
the drink?
it gets a little fizzy, so you have to be careful how you add it because the salt and the
Yeah.
carbonation, they're like, a
Um.
volcano, but something about the saltiness with,
Hmm.
like, the bite of, Pepsi, I don't know what it is, like,
Oh,
once a year, I'll get, like,
I've
an
not heard
inkling
of
for
that
it.
before. But when I in India we have a lemonade drink called limca. So you probably have something similar, but it's called limca, and you would have it, and you would put salt into the drink, and it would froth up, and it would be a hydrator, and it would taste amazing because you were so hot, you were so dehydrated. So we put salt in the lemonade. That's what everybody
This
did.
is insane that you're saying that.
Yeah.
Aaron loves this place in Oklahoma makes what they call a salty Sally. And it's
Wow.
like a frozen lemon drink with salt in it, and
Oh
he loves
wow.
lemon, pink salt, and
Yeah.
water. That's like his favorite thing to
Yeah.
hydrate with, and I can't
Yeah.
I'm not a big lemon fan, and that's ironic you say that because 'cause you're the only
That
person
sounds a
besides
bit
him I've
like a
ever
fresh
heard talk
lime.
about that.
Sounds like a fresh lime soda. Fresh lime soda with like proper fresh lemon and everything in it, loads of salt, and then they mix it up really, really fast. And that was really like really tart. Yeah.
Man, I
Oh,
salt's like the one thing that I use kind of, modestly because I used to eat way too much salt. I've gotten really clean with my eating the last 2 years.
okay.
I got an IUD put in it's like a birth control contraceptive that sits
Yeah.
in the uterus, and, um, it's because I developed a, tolerance or resistance to birth control pills.
Mhm.
And so, and I was getting towards 40. I wasn't trying to have children at this stage in my life. So, I got this put in, and I gained 60 pounds in 2 months.
Oh, wow, that sounds a lot.
Um,
Oh my god.
yeah, uh,
Yeah.
it's taken years for me to lose. Um,
Yeah.
I'm about 20 pounds away from my goal. I like to weigh about 160. I'm pretty
Yeah.
tall. I'm almost 5'7".
I'm just Googling what pounds are because I don't know. Hold on.
Well,
Okay.
it's
Oh,
like
that's nearly
a
30
kajillion
kilos.
stones, okay?
I'm kind of a kilo person, so that's nearly 30 kilos. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of weight.
yeah, yeah.
And I it's
I could easily lose 30 kilos right now. I think I probably need to lose about 60 or more kilos,
I'm
which is
looking
a
at my
lot.
old wardrobe right here.
Yeah,
I visit my pants all the I won't get rid of them because they're good
yeah,
condition and I can't replace them, but I
yeah.
know one day I'm gonna fit them again, you know?
Because I was 63 kilo before I got pregnant, and the doctor said 60 was the perfect weight for me. And now it's gone, so 130 pounds. So now it's gone double that, and my bones are suffering, and it's hard. It's hard to get around, and yeah. So I need to
Sciatic
lose. If
pain.
anybody's watching, I need to lose weight because I need to be more healthy. That's the
Well,
only reason I'm saying
you
that.
don't look overweight to me. I mean,
Because
I
you've
get kinda
seen this bit.
self-conscious sometimes. I
You've
know,
seen
me
the
too, but
top.
I don't think I'm that, it's all
No,
up
you
here.
look great. You look great. I'm very top heavy, which I know
Mine's in
some
my
people
my
think is a
back end.
blessing, but it gets in the way. I have no back end; it's all front. And
It's
so
crazy
yeah,
because like, I have such a little waist, like, when I had, like,
yeah.
a 27-inch waist, I still had 42-inch hips, like,
Wow.
I just,
Ooh.
and, I'm not like, I'm told all the time I don't look fat, I just look
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I'm, I guess, thick
for
or I have
me,
a lot of muscle
my feet
in
are a
my leg.
size 4, and I don't know what that is in American sizes. Let me just check. Um,
I don't that's like I don't even wanna talk to you. A size
um,
4?
yeah. Hold
That's
on. Let me
like
just check what that is in American sizes. This is probably different. But because my feet are so small, and my body, okay, it's like a 6.5.
oh, must be nice.
Okay, but my body obviously needs feet that are bigger now because my body's bigger. So I'm
Yeah.
having trouble with my feet and but ankles. But yeah, UK size 4 shoes equivalent to US 6.5. So I can wear child shoes. That's how small my feet are. Mm.
I actually can wear a 6.5 in boys, which is the
Can
last
you?
size before
Okay.
men. But I wear a size
Mm.
12, like, in, American sizes.
Wow.
They say
Okay.
the average size is like a 14, but,
Yeah.
I start feeling really big at a 14, but I've lost over 100 pounds before.
Yeah.
I'm really good at fluctuating weight. It's taken a long time to find the balance with my eating habits and learning to love
Hold
myself.
on. Oh no, the size 12 says it's still a UK size 11. Let me just double check that for women because that sounds really massive for a woman.
Thanks.
I'm
It's
not
like a
trying to fun
circus
shame
tent.
you. Oh, it's a 10. You've got big feet. You've got good size feet.
No,
How
I
tall are
wear
you?
6.5 in boys. My feet
Okay.
are like I wear a,
Okay.
8.5 in women's shoes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to feet shame
No,
anybody.
you're fine. I think I'm also a lot taller than you, though. I'm almost 5'7". I don't know how
Yeah.
you're like
I'm
5.
really small, and my feet are very Asian size. So I can fit Asian shoes rather than like American shoes because my feet are very slim. That's
Must
why
be
I'm
nice.
having no, because it's like I need to have my feet made wider now because the bones are well kind of breaking down. So I'm having a
Yeah,
bone graft operation soon to widen my feet. And
that's painful.
so I've got like little geisha feet.
This is I hope I don't offend anyone, but, there's this joke about, why do women have such little feet so they can stand closer to the stove? They cook.
Oh, that's
Little
awful.
feet. But I, like, have wide feet, and
Yeah.
I used I used to be so jealous when I was growing up because where I grew
Mm.
up in San Diego is very self-conscious, very lots of
Yeah.
plastic. I was going to, high school as a freshman with girls that
Mm.
had, breast augmentation and rhinoplasty,
Oh, that's
and
insane. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't go to school with anybody that had a teenage pregnancy. I went to school with kids that had boob jobs, you know?
I went
And
to school with the teenage pregnancy girls.
yeah, it
That's
was
the
a
school I went
different
to.
community, like,
Yeah.
the mindset.
It's
And
like on Adam's Family Values, the movie, when they go to summer camp and they're telling the scary stories, and it's like, and she woke up with her original nose.
I love Adam's Family, and they put him in that cottage and make him watch Disney movies,
Yes,
and
yeah.
Lindsay likes and I love the show Wednesday, the one with,
Yeah,
Jenna Ortega. Oh,
yeah.
I hope they're gonna come out with a second season sometime.
Yeah,
They've been
I think they are. So I growing up, I literally was Wednesday. Emotions for me have not been easy. So everyone used to laugh and say that I was like Wednesday Adams, just really deadpan. I'm getting better with the
reserved.
emotions now.
You
Yeah,
kept it right
I
there.
didn't understand what emotions were. So people would say things I just wouldn't know how to respond. So but I've done a lot of work on it now. But I don't
I can
always
think
respond
of things.
accordingly, and I don't always laugh at people's jokes because I don't always understand their humor and things like that. So when people are texting me, a smiley face or whatever comes in very handy because otherwise I'll take it in completely wrong way. And
I have to be so careful because I have a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor.
yeah,
I'll give
me
you an
too.
example. I told Erin's sister, her the father of one of her kids, I said, "I am, donating umbrellas and raincoats to the homeless." He goes, "Oh, that's nice." I said, "Yeah, they're organic. I actually collected all the dust bunnies under my bed, and then I was able to make these umbrellas and these raincoats, so they're completely organic." And Aaron's sitting next to me, like, snorting out his nose, right? And Casey's like, "That is such a good idea." And I'm
Oh dear.
like, what kind of an umbrella would a dryer sheet make? Really? Come on. But if I say it so sincerely, I could say the most absurd wackadoodle
Yeah,
and people believe me. And I
yeah,
usually am the one laughing the hardest at my jokes because
yeah,
my jokes are like really intricate, right? And my mind is like always like like the synapses are always firing. And so sometimes I'm just laughing to bridge the awkward silence because nobody understands the joke. And then I'm trying to over explain the joke. And then
yeah,
it's way not funny. And I'm like, well, should just put my foot in my mouth.
yeah,
This is how it goes.
yeah. I'm very sarcastic as well. And
I love sarcasm. I have to be careful because I
because
get a little too sarcastic, but
I kind of raised myself watching Cheers and Roseanne when I was growing up.
I love Roseanne.
Right?
Oh
So
my
that's I used to go to
Darlene,
bed, and that's what I
Darlene.
used to watch. Cheers and Roseanne. And that was how I raised myself. So
There's
like
nothing wrong with
Roseanne was like
that.
my mom.
My grandma always tried to get me to watch Golden Girls,
Oh, I
and,
love the Golden Girls. I love it.
I
Oh
love
my
Betty
god.
White.
Yeah.
Like, that woman I said she was gonna live forever.
Yeah. Well, she was pretty old when she passed. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
And
and
when
she
you watch
never
back, she's
stopped
so smart,
working.
so smart. Yeah, oh, so fast as well. Because she used
I
to do all
really
those game shows and everything. It's really good. Yeah, so I used to love watching All American reruns. That's how I kind of raised myself. I go to bed, put on my little black and white TV and watch Roseanne and Cheers. And so that's why I grew up with the sarcastic American humor.
I think me too. You know, it's
Yeah.
funny, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons or Married with Children growing up, but I was allowed to like, in 1st grade, I could watch Predator, I watched Stephen King's The Stand,
That's weird.
Alien.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
that's weird.
Terminator 2. Well, I've seen Terminator 2 so many times, I mean, it's almost like a
I love
family,
the
like,
Terminators,
biography
yeah.
for us.
For me, the Terminator movies were a big deal. They really were like a big awakening for me. Yeah.
I feel that way
Mm.
about The Matrix, like, every time
Yeah.
I watch I have to watch all 3, and the scene where
Yeah.
he jumps off the building and the girl tells him, "But you flew?" Like, I
Yeah.
cry every
I have
time that Jem and Trinity fly.
I have a slightly different perspective on the Matrix now that I know that I'm a Kruger super soldier that was paired with Drago Reed on some missions and stuff. And that when you bring two super soldiers together, the energy kind of goes massive. So when you've got Neo and you've got Trinity, in some context of existence, there's me and him like that, which is just bonkers. So now I think, oh, that's really different.
You
So
know,
yeah.
it's interesting you say that, Jay. I think you're the one that mentioned the Valkyrie, like, that
Mm.
you picked up, like, Valkyrie with
I love
me,
Valkyrie energy. Yeah, I love it.
and it's totally real. There is an Order
Yeah.
of the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
They're raising women up like
Yeah.
warriors, and Jay reminded me of that last night, and I was
Mhm.
like, like
Yeah,
I'm like one of those people that like usually if my natural reaction is actually not to be hostile or take the offense, it's
yeah,
usually I get walked all over and or finally I'll get backed in a corner and I'm like a pit bull, I'll snap.
yeah,
But I'm more likely to be taken aback and just soft spoken when I'm abruptly caught off guard, right? With
right.
with a like a hostile situation or encounter. But uh I do if I especially like something I'm very protective over. Like
Yeah,
I feel like I can have like that den mother like kind of feel, right? Like
yeah, you do. You
I
are
feel like
very
I'm very
motherly.
motherly, like
Yeah,
especially like 20-year-old kids. I think 20-year-olds are kids now. I could tell I'm old because I'm like, you're 21,
yes,
you are a child.
yeah.
I
It's
would
a
not,
different.
you
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
I'm Generation X, so for me, it's very different looking at these new generations that have come here, and it's like they just can't process information in the same way. They're a different species. They really are. And but I also see it on the other end of the spectrum as well. We've got all the crystal kids coming in, and when I have my crystal shop, I just say to the parents, the grandparents, just watch them. Just take a step back and just watch them. They'll choose the exact crystal that's perfect for them. You just need to pay for it. Just let them do their thing.
I just need your
Honestly.
checkbook.
And they would literally just be like, oh, wow. And then the children just show me what they got. And we talk about it. And they would know more about that crystal than I would just instinctively. It was amazing to watch. So the grandparents and parents and caregivers now just realized, okay, that kid's into crystals because they've got this soul knowing about crystals, which is really exciting because it's crystal technology, and they would just indulge. Yeah, really, it's
You
amazing to
just said
watch.
everything that I've wondered about for you. I think there's memory, especially like in quartz.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
I
yes,
just
yes. Let me see my quartz.
oh, it's
This is my
beautiful.
lithium quartz. He's been through the sonic cleaner a few times. He's still got quite a
Oh,
lot of
it's
sediment, so I'm trying to
beautiful.
clean him off. But he's my wand right now. Um, he's a lithium quartz. So, but yeah, the quartzes hold a lot of memory. They really are record keepers. They really do have a deva, a soul inside that connects into an oversoul. So when I
Yeah,
communicate with this crystal, it shares that information with all of the quartz in my body, on the planet, probably off planet, right? So quartz are really important. Yeah, all the crystals are really important.
I
Um,
have a real connection with amethyst. I love amethyst.
well, amethyst is
Um,
known as the sober stone. So amethyst is trying to help you detox.
that's amazing. I've always felt that way my whole life about I love amethyst and
Yeah,
this is not I don't think it's a sapphires.
yeah,
I don't know what it is about sapphires, but and I've
yeah,
just found out they come in many colors, but
yeah,
that royal blue, like I just
yeah.
love like blue and earth tones.
Do
Like I
you
mean,
do you have a
oh,
lot of blue belongings in your home? Do you work with blue a lot?
yes, blue, and I
Okay,
love like heather gray and
okay, because we
charcoal.
need to. Your throat is over energized on the blue, so we need to balance out your throat with the yellow, the lemon, the honey, that kind of thing. So your throat chakra and your solar plexus need to swap positions basically, and you have more blue for your solar and more yellow for your throat. And
So
see if that
I want to
helps your
ask you a
voice.
question.
Yeah,
Is the solar plexus the one that's like in the stomach, or is that like
yeah.
so which one is like is it sacral? That
The
one's like the
sacral is
sex
your
chakra?
hips. Yeah, sacral is your hips. The orange energy center. The solar is above, around your navel, or above the belly. That's your personal power center. So that's golden yellow, right? But when your throat is over energized, your solar will also be out of balance because they're the opposite end of the heart, right? So if you love blue so much, it's likely that you're overworking with the blue, and we need to bring it back into balance with some yellow or green. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at my
So
shirts. Okay, I'll do
yeah,
that. I'm not gonna change right now,
yeah,
but
yellow foods like bananas, anything yellow at all. So lemon, honey. That's why cough
mango.
syrups are all yellow, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I eat a lot of grapes. Like I love fruits and
Uh,
vegetables.
are
So I
they
eat
dark? Are they red grapes?
I eat cher so I eat the cherries with the pits and then
Yeah.
I eat
But are they
They're
darker grapes?
Moscato, so they're like a light red, and then I eat the cotton candy grapes.
Okay, so there's
They're
that's
green.
still kind of heading into the blue energy when you're
Okay,
working with those, and yeah, so more of the green would be good. Yeah, see
okay.
how that just see how it feels. Yeah,
I will. Yeah, I definitely will. I like have been trying to eat clean for almost 2 years now because,
yeah,
there's a thyroid condition that runs in my family, and so I gained that weight, and then
yeah.
I mean, I was barely eating, and I know that causes issues with slow metabolism, but I couldn't lose any weight, and now I've dropped 25 pounds in the last month and a half, and I
Oh,
think
that's
it's just because 'cause I'm
amazing.
happy,
Yeah,
you know?
it's true. I
Um,
mean, sometimes it's cortisol, isn't it? It's the cortisol build up, and I know it's definitely with me because I've been running on fight or flight for a few years for sure, and the last 6 months I've been changing my job, changing the people around me, changing everything, but I'm still running on
it's
high
stressful.
cortisol. Yeah, so I'm still.
If you ever need someone just even to sit in silence with you or you need to s you I'm just a phone call away.
I love that
I'd be
with you,
happy to sit there
but
with
I
you.
know there's no way we could sit in silence. That just
You
wouldn't
seem
happen.
judgmental.
It wouldn't
Imma have to
happen. There's no way that you
I
and I
can
would
be very
sit in
quiet,
silence.
actually, when, I
I don't
first
think
meet
I could
someone,
do
I'm
it.
shy, so I won't talk
I
much.
don't think I could do it with you. I don't know.
You'd
I'm
be
not good at sitting
surprised.
in silence. I'm not good at sitting in silence. So yeah. But I appreciate the offer. Thank you so much.
You're
But
wel maybe we can sit there and just talk at each other, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
we could do
yeah,
that
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I can do that too. I can talk a lot. I've literally been trained to talk for 4 hours straight. Because I used to sell timeshare when I lived in India.
Oh,
So
wow. I've
yeah.
met you people. I've met you.
But it's an art form. It really is an art form. I only did it for a few seasons, as you can't hold that against me. But I did it in India and I did it in Thailand. So, but you have to talk for a minimum of 4 hours.
I could do it.
Yeah, I know
I
you
mean, I
could.
might not be saying much of anything, but I can definitely
I know you
this
could
mouth
for
has some
sure. You
stamina.
would be amazing at it. You really would. Yeah, you'd
I
be. You need to see
I
what's
always
around
wanted to
you.
do,
Yeah.
like, stand-up comedy or motivational speaking, but I have
Yeah.
horrible stage fright. Like, you
Okay, well,
can't
I can help you with that. I can help you with that. Because for me, I've worked up to doing the motivational speaking, and now I can do talks to like 100 people in the room and stuff like that. And I don't prepare anything anymore because I know my guides will help me channel the information through. So but it's been a few years of, I'm better with bigger groups than small groups now. I really am. So I'm more comfortable being, in that space. But yeah, I can definitely help you with that. Um, I have
you're a
trouble
good
in smaller
speaker.
groups now. Thank you.
You're very comfortable. I love talking to you. You're when we talked yesterday morning on the phone, like, I love your voice, like, I told you, you could be like I hate to say Disney because I feel different about Disney, but you could be like a princess, like Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. You have, like, this you could enchant forest creatures to clean your house. No
I
problem.
wish. I
I
really
love
wish.
your voice.
I love your accent. I really love your accent. I need to practice my American accent.
Do I
Mm.
have an accent? Oh,
You do. You have a
I love
great.
you. I always wondered what I sounded
No,
like
you have a great
over,
accent.
seas it sounds different, right?
Yeah, it's such a cool accent. Yeah.
Aw, it's the California accent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's great. So let's
Thank
see. How long are we on here? Like, is there anything you want to share before we finish? Because I'm just conscious of
Yeah,
time.
I
I
can
need
make
to
it
put two
quick. I
videos.
want to tell
Yeah,
you
go
what
on.
happened during my awakening.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
I'll give you the 2-minute version, okay? So,
Okay.
hold on.
You can
So,
take longer than 2 minutes. That's okay.
the experience that I had when the planets aligned was I all of a sudden had this voice booming through me, and it was like a woman's voice, and
Mm,
I believe that it was the earth talking to me. I had been all of my energy, my focus, my intention had been contending with the creator. I had been walking around talking to myself out loud for like a week, and I just was so devastated about the state of the world, the extinction of animals, the planet being cannibalized, the horrific crimes against especially children and humanity. And it just felt like I feel like my heart remembers something from outside of this dimension because I just I have so much love and unconditional love, and I I just want to be happy go lucky and laugh and be at peace, and I just want to give that feeling to people when they're around me. I just want them to feel like there's no judgment. No matter what it is, I accept all of you, even the ugly parts, because you know what? Those are still part of who you are. I'm not picking and choosing what I like or don't like. And I try to give everybody just a fair chance to be comfortable and feel accepted and feel like there's no judgment from me because I'm not I'm no one to judge. Made lots of mistakes. And I just want to share information and learn from people. And so I really was having a hard time because I used to be a Christian, and I had worked really hard to let go of the dogma. And I just always felt like an all-knowing, all perfect creator that is looking at the future like a current state of affairs, right? That they would not allow me to come here already destined to an eternity in hell. It wasn't sitting right. It never felt right. I just couldn't, I couldn't accept that. And so I said, please just, I never felt like I was really good at being a human, right? Like, I mean, I know, sorry, I know I'm a hard worker. I know I've got talent. But you know what I mean? I never wanted to be rich. I didn't care if I had, the minivan and the golden retriever and the 2 kids. I just wanted to find what it is that Michelle was supposed to do here on this planet and chase that till there was nothing left. And I felt like I didn't come here just to go through this game that they sell on us called life, right? Like I felt there had to be more. And all I wanted was a solution, just some answers. Please, just tell me what it is I'm doing here. Because I felt like for the last 2 years, I had like died in a way. I just didn't even want to get out of bed. There was no color in the world. There was nothing that, like, I just felt like I was waiting to die, honestly. And this healed me in every way possible in after the experience. And what I was shown was this. It was like I saw the creation of the Milky Way galaxy. Um, the first thing was like this primordial, like living water or like primordial clay. It was like boiling and bubbling. And what I saw was like what you might call the Big Bang, the brightest light, the loudest sound I've ever heard, like this explosion. And what I saw through, like, I mean, I couldn't even call it darkness, it was so thick, was this light just go across the constellations. And they showed me how Lucifer was called the light bearer because he could bear the light. Like it was so intense. It was beyond any light that I could even, light's not even the word because it was conscious. But what I saw was like, this was before zodiacs. Like that's when I realized there's a problem with the zodiac was because of this experience. I saw the stars were conscious, and the way the stars formed was the absolute perfect arrangement of the elements, right? And these archetypes, like the position of the stars, like, we call it Orion's belt or the Pleiades, right? I think that's like the seven sisters. What I saw was is these archetypes or these personalities that formed in the stars would then manifest as planets, and out of those planets would come titans, the biggest, most massive. I actually had 2 angels, like, one on each side of me, and I was like a hair on the toe, I was so little. They were so just, I mean, humongous, and what I saw was they formed the planets, they would come out of them like a third dimensional being. They would, you know, root us there, like DNA, like seed us, and they would teach us, like, agriculture and how to be in balance with the planet, and that our DNA and our consciousness were connected with that of the planet. Like if you actually look at like earth, right? And then you look at like the elements of the human body, we're mainly water, right? Our iron, we have metals in us. It's a perfect ratio because we are that of the earth. And the way it worked was they would leave us and we were going to ascend with the planet. We would raise ourselves from where we started up. And um, I wasn't sure if I was going to tell this part or not, but I think I will now. What I saw was Lucifer and like the sigils that they show us that hold those powers, like drawing down the power. It was literally like the shape was drawing out, right? And the power was in the shape, the sacred geometry. And it was like a kaleidoscope, the way the first light refracted, the way that it bounced was what the sigil was, right? Like that was the way the light had first uh, appeared when that archetype would come out of the living water. And they showed me how there was a confrontation. And what I saw was Lucifer falling. Now, when I say the word fall, yes, I saw a fall, but like, when you take certain hues and you turn them down, it's like the color becomes more dense. That's what I mean by like it fell. I saw the light come down, and I've had a hard time with this part of my vision. Just a second. And the reason I've had a hard time is because there's so many things here that I think have been inverted and we've been misled about, right? And one of those things that I had trouble with is the reason I saw Lucifer fall is he was like the light that made the hologram work. And he fell because there was I think it was almost like Yahweh. There was a creator God, like not the ultimate source creator, but like a creator God that wanted to go rogue and start enslaving the consciousness. And I saw the light come down like he was trying to prevent that from happening. I still don't know what it means, but I'll tell you what happened after they showed me all this was I went outside and there were 3 golden orbs, um, like an upside down triangle in my yard. So 2 up here and 1 down here, they were gold. And I looked at it and I said, "You're not supposed to be pointed that way." And it went like this. So it was an oblong triangle. Now, I'm obsessed with this constellation called Triangulum. It's in between the Pisces and Andromeda, and I'm a Pisces, and I have this obsession with going to Andromeda. Ever since I heard Alex Collier talk about the 3 months he spent on an Andromedan ship, I was like, that's all I want. I wanna go I wanted that life. Like, that's all I wanted the next life to be, but I'm starting to think maybe I had a life there. And Triangulum's in the middle. Now, Triangulum is 3 constellations. One is the tree of life, one is called EA, like Ea, and the other one was called El. Now, they've been changed over time. They're now called Elohim, Yahweh, and the tree of life, but together they are Triangulum. And what I saw was that light that came and created this part of the universe, it started from Triangulum and came here. And that night, when this orb, not only did it turn into an oblong triangle, this like gold electric string connected and started going really fast, right? And I looked up in the sky and all the stars were normal. The North Star, Orion's belt, the Dipper, and then all of a sudden they physically rearranged. And where I live is in the country. There's no light pollution, so you can see the stars. And that's one of my favorite things is going out and looking at the sky. And all of the stars rearranged and they all turned into oblong triangles, all pointing towards what would be the direction of Andromeda.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
so, yeah, it was the most unhuman experience I've ever it felt like the most real thing I've ever had in this reality. And after that, I had all this information come to me on how to turn the tides. I always said love will conquer no matter what. That's always been my like mantra. And they showed me that love is the dominating frequency, that it's the frequency of what they used to call God or source. And they showed me exactly what to do. And it's funny because, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, you're going to need like a gazillion of those things to pull this. I mean, I've had the not negative Nancy's, just, doubters. And I was like, that's okay because I know that I was given this because my heart wanted so bad the future of this planet to make it. It wasn't about me. It was about children in the future having an ocean, having an Amazon rainforest,
Having a
having
future.
yeah, having,
Yeah.
being able to see whales and dolphins. And I felt the planet grieving through me. She said, "My children are being slaughtered.
Yeah.
Please, please." Like it was almost like something from a pat like a part of my soul that that stayed on the outside when I came into
Yeah.
here. It was like something like a remembrance for me. And I knew that's what I have to do no matter what. I have to find 7 people, and I have been given all the information. I
Mm.
literally typed for so many weeks, like 3,000 pages. My fingers had blisters, right? Like,
Yeah.
and one of the last conversations I had with my good friend Renetta Jones was, uh, she told me it would work. We had to put it together kind of a different combination of equipments to bring down the cost. Because whoever wants to do this, they have to be willing to pick the planet over themselves, and they have to be willing to put a little bit of money into this. Because
Mm.
there's no one out there that's like a foundation. You know what I mean? We've got
Yeah.
time ticking, and the powers that be, they do not want us to do this. So it had to be done in it had to be where it wasn't illegal, no trespassing. You weren't possessing something that you couldn't have or was suspicious or brought attention, but also something where you could be remote distance away and be safe, and
Mm.
something that would be, if you had to do it with as little as one person, it could be, but it would be ideal for it to be, obviously, the more that you have involved, the faster it'll go, but there's a specific
Yeah.
way it has to be done.
So is this like a worldwide boots on the ground mission? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 7 people. I need myself and 7 people, and you have to have like a certain amount not Antarctica or the Arctic.
Mm.
Not it's just a few countries, and you have to have
Yeah.
like one on either side, but literally within 3 weeks we can reverse all the damage, remove these forces, or it's a weapon of light, so it'll
Mm.
reprogram them to love or they'll flee. It's interdimensional or quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
It works at a molecular level, but it'll work from the core of the planet, and it'll loop faster than the speed of light all the way through the whole Milky Way galaxy.
That sounds incredible. Yeah.
And I had no friends, but I'll tell you what, like, all I asked the source was, as long as my heart is staying in
Mm.
pure intention, service to others, and it's not
Yeah.
for gain, please just give me what I need to do this. And I'll tell you what, I feel like not only have I been given the best friends I could ever ask for, but I feel like my heart is getting like soul memory back with people. Like I feel like I have
Yeah.
found people that I've known for lifetimes, and I'm 180 degrees the other direction than I was before this
Yeah.
experience. I just want to live, and I have so
Yeah.
much hope for the future.
It's a small community. We'll all band together and I'm sure we'll make it happen. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean the world is so much smaller than we realize because I'm making connections with people all over the world that I knew from Atlantis. How is that possible? Do you know what I mean? How is that possible?
I feel like
Yeah.
I was like a sister with you in a past life, like, our
Yeah.
that day that our face was side by side and I looked, I was like, I don't even look like my family I'm related to, but, like, our cheekbones, the fair complexion,
I have
the
a lot of
shape.
clones, and
Well,
more people. I've started to do
you're a
it.
good-looking clone then.
I'm a clone mother, mass produced, so made in the UK. I started to put like like promos of me with the guests, so I can start to see who looks like me because it's getting weird, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little weird.
And I was
I
working with
feel
this
it.
guy, and he's like saying to me, "Oh, your health is so bad, and all this kind of stuff. You're a terrible specimen for a human being, aren't you?" And
This is for him.
he thought it was hilarious, right? And then now, if he found out how many clones have been mass produced from my DNA, from my soul, obviously
That's
something is good there.
I think that you have a beautiful energy, like, I'm starting to see auras and, like,
Oh
your
wow!
energy, yeah, like Rob, I've seen Rob's.
Oh, what color
I
was
kinda
his
have to let my
aura?
eyes go fuzzy, it's like I can see it on the peripheral, but
Yeah,
I my heart chakra opened up, and I feel like I'm walking in my mission, I know what that is now, I
yeah.
feel strong, I have no fear.
Yeah. I feel
I
like there's an element, an aspect of you, or you're an aspect of her. And it's just like Earth Mother energy that you're like the walking embodiment of the earth right now. Yeah.
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
I haven't said
amazing.
that to
Yeah.
anyone. Jay calls me Earth Mother, and, like, it makes me blush because 'cause I'm like,
And
you
I
know what I
never
mean?
normally say Earth Mother. That's, you don't hear me say that. I always say Mother Earth. So it's like, and I just said it, Earth Mother. So,
I know exactly. This is the weird synchronicities, that's how
yeah.
these are, like, the little signs that come in where it's like, I know I'm in the right place. I know
Yeah.
I've got the vibe is attracted the tribe, and the call, it's like a beacon, right? Where we've all
Mhm.
found each other. It's like we can
Yeah.
all hear it. And I just, I just want to end this with saying like I'm so grateful and humbled and I feel so lucky to call you my friend.
Me
And
too.
I just
Yeah.
thank you for giving me a place where
Mm.
I feel loved and accepted.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear your story. And I know it's not over your story, it's an ongoing journey. But when we go through these things, these challenges, it's because you're learning how to help people go through a similar thing. So it's not for nothing. It's a mission that you've decided on before you came. And like Dolores Cannon says, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you're ticking off a list and I want to die by fire this time and stuff like that. So you
Yeah.
literally went through a list of challenges and thought, well, that'll be fun. I'll give that a go because then I'll be able to help people and guide them through when they're having the same thing. So you're a guiding light. Just remember that you're the guiding light. Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
lighthouse.
Yeah,
Little light.
lighthouse. And I know it's still, you still feel like you're in the middle of it right now, but it will make sense. At some point, it'll start to come together and make sense, and people will come forward that you're meant to help. And it could just be the words that we're saying together now that activate or heal somebody who watches our videos together. So it's really important work. So thank you.
Thank you. I just love you so
I
much.
love you
I hope
too.
whoever finds this, if this resonates, you come and find us, okay?
Yeah.
We're waiting. All right.